Hello people, welcome back to my channel Study with Nandu, and this is another lecture on the subject of human resource management. So in this video we will be discussing about selection process, its definition, its importance and stages of selection process. Fine. Let us understand its definition first. Okay. So selection is a crucial function in HRM which involves picking up the most suitable candidate from the pool of applicants to fill the specific job position. Fine. The goal of selection is to identify the individuals who possess the necessary skills, knowledge, and abilities and other characteristics to perform the job effectively. Right? According to Terry Nomsky, selection is a process of hire and non-hire decision regarding each applicant of a job. Now let us understand this whole thing. Now, before this, let me also tell you what is recruitment, which we have discussed in the previous video. Yes. So what recruitment do? So it searches for the right potential applicants. Okay. They motivate the right applicants to apply for the job. Okay. So we can say attracting a qualified candidates to apply for a job, right? So this is recruitment. So once we post a job opening, we get many applicants, right? So once we post, suppose just have posted one thing, one job applicant here. Okay. So for this job, we get many applicants. We get many number of applicants here, right? So once we post a job opening, we get many applicants. We get a pool of applicants here. Yes, from those pools, we pick the most suitable candidates. Okay, only we pick those candidates who are most suitable. So how we can say these are the suitable candidates means from who possess necessary skills, knowledge, and abilities. Okay, so if the job or if the job description is about like if it is like searching, if the recruiter is searching for the fresher candidates who is having a Java skill perfectly or with a certificate of Java codes, knowledge, everything, then he is the suitable candidate for that particular job, right? So according to Terry Non-Linsky, okay, so according to him, what selection is? Selection is the process of hire and non-hire decisions. So it's a process of hire and non-hire decisions from the pool of candidate. Yes. So what we do is to move further to also get all the process done. In this first step, we decide whom to hire and whom to not hire. Means non-hire decision. We make a proper decision here. Yes. Next. Importance of selection. Now, importance of why selection is important. First is selects best candidates. Obviously we select best candidate from those pool of candidates who meets all the requirement of the position, right? So the best candidate is chosen only after rejecting the unmatchable applicants of the position. So if it is like not suiting, if the candidate resumes and our job description is not matching, then we obviously reject them. Yes. So once we reject everything non matchable applicants from the after rejecting it, we get the best candidate, right? Only after rejecting, we find the best candidate. Yes. Next is verifies applicants' capabilities, right? They can understand what's the capabilities, skills, knowledge of the candidate. So it helps to match job requirement with the application profile. Next is place right candidate at the right job. Obviously, the purpose of selection is to place right candidate, right? To place the right candidate so that he can contribute his best efforts towards the achievement of organization goals. Yes, so by giving a standard performance by using his skills, knowledge, right? So it also helps in understanding the detailed information about the candidate. So selection process helps us to understand the detailed information about the candidate. Okay, so from where he is, what his background, his family background, his education background, everything. So so that right, we can compare him with the other candidates to make a proper decision. So we can compare his skills with the other candidate skills and we can easily analyze who is the best suitable candidate and we can make a proper decision there. It says it also saves cost. So it also saves cost, like selecting the right candidate according to job requirement, like is a very crucial thing. So if not, it results in the higher loss to organization, like in terms of money, in terms of time, and it may be any other factor, right? Next is stages in selection process. So the selection process varies from organization to organization. Fine, this is like you may note it, right? It also varies from organization to organization and also from job to job. Okay. Now, so these are the steps in selection process. Okay, so the selection process includes the following step. First is screening of applicants, selection test, selection interviews, medical examination, reference check, and background verification, hiring decisions. Okay, so generally these are the 6 steps for selection process. Okay, so let us understand these each steps clearly now. So first is screening of applicants. The screening of applicants includes filling up the application forms by the candidates. The form asks for the basic things like personal biodata, educational qualification, experience, achievements, age, etc. Okay, so this data is used for maintaining a permanent record of the candidate who had been selected. It checks the detail and calls the candidate for selection test. It is utilized in order to get the right candidate who is eligible for the vacant position. Now, in which in whichever company you apply, on their company website you will find the application form, right? So there you will receive the application form from the organization. You need to fill the form, right? So that the form will ask the basic things like personal biodata, experience, achievements, educational data, everything it is going to ask, right? And also the data whatever you give in the form, the data is also used to maintain the record of the candidate who are being selected for further use. Fine. Now, so the screening committee of the organization will check all the details here and calls the candidate for the selection test. And basically, the purpose of this screening is to shortlist suitable candidates to call them for the next round. So if this committee finds a resume suitable, they call them and they call them for the next round. Next. Second is selection test. Okay, so the purpose of the test is to determine whether the candidate has the necessary skills and abilities to perform the job. Every organization has its own rule for the selection process to generate the required information about the candidate or to react candidate who are not reject candidate who are not qualified for the interview. So there could be different types of tests depending on the job role: intelligent test, technical test, aptitude test, psychometric test. So every job here selection test after first this is the second step in this selection process. Every job requires some set of skills, right? Some set of skills knowledge, right, depending on the requirement. So this selection test helps us to check whether the skills and knowledge required for the job is present in the candidate or not, whether he's familiar with the skills and to what extent his expertise. And also for one particular job there are many applicants who applies for it, right? So it is very difficult to call each and every person sorry, each and every person to take interviews and to retrieve the information from him, right, to understand whether he's capable enough or not. So it takes a lot of time, energy. So what we do is we conduct a selection test irrespective of online or offline. Then we call the candidate to next round if the applicant clears the selection test round. So we can perform different types of tests here like intelligent test, technical test, okay, aptitude test, psychometric test. So still we have many more tests we will be discussing in detail in the next coming video. Okay, uh, this is all about a selection test. Hope you guys understood. So if the candidate clears the selection, then we will be called for the next round, that is selection interview. Okay, so what is the third one? Third step, selection interview. So once the candidate clears the selection test, they are called to interview personally. Okay, the main purpose of this interview is to fully evaluate the candidate for the job. So this is generally done by officers from the top management, and the candidate are asked several questions about their experience on previous jobs, their family background, their interest, etc. So the candidate will be called for the personal interview to the organization, or if it is face to face or through panel. Here who will be taking interviews? Generally it is done by top management people, okay, or you can have people from HR, or you can have people from any of the senior level member. So what questions they will be asking in this interview? You can expect about your experience of previous job, about your skills, knowledge, okay, your family background, your interest, right? So etc. So the advantage of the selection interview like is the panel members can directly monitor the candidate behavior, like his confidence level he can monitor, and also you will get to know what candidate is expecting from the organization in terms of salary, working conditions, etc. Right? So next is reference check and background verification. So before coming to this test step, most of the candidates will be rejected in the last three steps only. So if the candidate has crossed all these three steps, means he is almost selected, right? Then it comes to reference check and background verification. I hope you understand this. Organizations request the candidate for some references from whom they can gain some more information. These references may include ex-employer, people from educational institutions of the candidate, or some other important people who knows the candidate attitude and skills. So it's a type of cross-check for the information provided by the candidate through the application form or during the interview is correct or not. That means generally company asks for two references. Okay, they might be from previous office employers or from any one of your professor from educational institution or any important person who knows very well about the candidate. Okay, so with the help of this reference organization, people will contact to them to cross check whether the information if the candidate provided during the interview process or in the application form is correct or not, whether he's not lying, whether he's telling correct. This uh, cross check will be done by this people. So this is the fourth step in reference check and background verification. Next is medical examination. Once a candidate clears the background verification, the next step is medical examination. So this is the examination to determine an applicant's physical fitness for essential job performance. So a medical examination is performed to place the right candidate at the right job where they function without any kind of ill effect or loss to their health. Candidates' medical examination is generally carried out by the organization's own physician or a medical officer authorized by the organization. Now, see, every job is required some or other physical fitness, right? So the organization checks whether the candidate is physically fit to perform job efficiently. Okay, because if the candidate is not medically fit, then there will be a no use in hiring or selecting that particular candidate, right? It's not that no use of him, but the candidate cannot give his 100% to his work, and also if any problem occurs after joining the company to the candidate, then somehow the company will be responsible for the candidate. So it is very important for the company to get your fitness certificate at the joining time, the candidate's fitness certificate at the joining time. And also you need to get certificate from the medical officer mentioned by the organization. Okay, so it is mentioned and it is authorized by the organization only. Okay, so if you get certificate from the other doctor or your personal family doctor, it will not be applicable. Okay, so it will be applicable only if the candidate brings a certificate from the medical officer authorized by the organization only. Right? Hope you understood. And also let me take an example here. Like, so if you apply to any military force job or any police officer job, right? There you will be getting all the medical tests done by the concerned medical officer. Right? So final round is hiring decision. So if all the previous steps are done very well, then the last step is hiring decisions and you will be getting offer letter from the organization. Got it? So here in this step, you will be getting offer letter from the organization. So there are the candidates will be told about their selection and also to whom they need to report to the organization, right? So I hope you guys understood about this organization. Let me read this once. So once the final selection of the candidates are approved by the top management, the candidates are told about their selection in the organization. That means the candidate has been told that you have been selected in our organization to perform job effectively and are requested to report to the concerned person. So they are being asked to report to that particular person, whether it's manager. Obviously you need to report to the manager in the organization. You need to report to this so and so person in the organization. They will be telling about that. Job offer includes joining date, salary package, few terms and conditions related to joining. So what job offer includes? Obviously joining date, when you need to join, your salary package, and also some few terms and conditions about the organization, right? So I hope you guys understand all these 6 steps in detail, right? So let us revise the steps in the selection process once again. So there are 6 steps in selection process. First is screening of applicants, okay, selection test, selection interview, medical examination, reference check and background verification, hiring decisions. Okay, so these are the 6 steps in selection process. So let's wind up this video here and continue in the next part. Till then, take care, bye bye, and thank you for watching this video. For such more related topics of human resource management, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.